Welcome to my walk along Hadrian's Wall, day one of the most iconic landmarks in the UK. Stretching about 84 miles coast to coast from Wallsend on the River Tyne to Bowness-on-Solway, this incredible structure was built by the Romans around AD 100 to 22 during Emperor Hadrian's reign. Hadrian's Wall wasn't just a defensive barrier, it also served as a customs post to control trade and movement, symbolising the northern edge of the Roman Empire. The wall originally stood up to 15 feet high in some places and was made primarily of stone, with a large ditch called the Vallum running alongside it. It featured over 80 mile castles, small forts positioned at regular intervals, along with larger forts like Housesteads and Vindolanda, which offer fascinating insights into Roman life. As I explore this historic path, I'll take you through its rugged landscapes, ancient ruins, and breathtaking views. Well, of course, the train was delayed by an hour, then cancelled, then way too many people to sit down for most of the journey from south to north. No seats here? Oh well, gonna have to be the doorway then. Luckily, I had the ultralight folding camping chair to hand, and with some slight envy from my fellow doorway dwellers, hunkered down for around 4 to 5 hours, before arriving in Carlisle and getting the bus to the campsite. So, Bowness-on-Solway camping and glamping, set up and ready around 6 PM with the super small tent that was mocked by every child that walked past it. Dad, that man's tent is so small. Feeling super excited to be sleeping near the dead. What can I say about the campsite? It had wonderful amenities, was a few minutes from the start of my walk, and, well, it was a bank holiday weekend, so I didn't get much more than an ounce of sleep due to the many young families up till 1 AM having a hella fun time. I ventured out into town that first evening and explored an alleyway down to the beach, and wow, what a sight! I watched the most amazing sunset while sitting with my back against the seawall, the fresh, cool breeze blowing through my bald spot and the scent of adventure electrifying my soul. After the worst night's sleep I'd had in years, I was up at 5 AM and eager to hit the road. Although little in the way of rest, I actually felt fully energised. Leaving the campsite, there are only a few easy to navigate alleyways until, I guess, the official start of the hike. As I took my first steps into my journey, I couldn't help but feel a connection to the countless feet that had tread this path before me. Soldiers, merchants, travellers, each leaving their mark on history. For a moment I felt like one of them, walking not just through the landscape, but through time itself. Today I wasn't just walking, I was part of the wall's enduring story, a modern traveller with a hint of Roman resolve. This early section of the walk is stunning to say the least. The weather was fine and my spirits high. Ah, wonderful. So even when the views aren't that great, there's just something magical about walking on your own
I was going to say in the middle of nowhere, but it doesn't even matter if it's not in the middle of nowhere and it's in the middle of somewhere. Just that sense of peace. Something so magical about it. It's really hard to put my finger on what it is. I read somewhere once that it takes you out of the everyday worry and stress because you're just worrying about getting to where you're going. Worrying is probably the wrong word.
Through fields of gold where wild winds sing, I walked as if through a world of kings. The road stretched long, a ribbon of stone, leading my footsteps where echoes are grown. Past a farm with doors like ancient gates, guardians of secrets, keepers of fates. I stopped for a feast where sunlight danced and the wall's old magic held me entranced. Each stone was alive, each breeze a call, as if I belonged to the soul of the wall. A journey through time, a spellbound domain, where history breathed and dreams remain.
So we are eight and a half miles exactly into the first stage. Last couple of miles I've been walking on the road through the little villages. All very pretty, but I'm glad to be back off-road again, out into the countryside. Oh, okay. He says, tentatively, looking at all this up ahead mud. Okay, action mud cam incoming. That is... oh my god. I mean, I've got waterproof boots on. Stuck in somebody else's mud hole. Oh, don't want to get muddy, you can do it, it's cool shit. Oh. 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 Anyone's coming with trainers this day, which I've seen a couple. There we go. Oh my god.
Sometimes, just sometimes, I see a spot and I feel there is a wonderful moment to be captured. This was one of those spots. After the most peaceful and serene of lunches, I eased back into the trail. I had met quite a few travellers on the way, at least 5 or so couples or singles walking the wall in the other direction. Here up high above the river, not a thing in the world could take the magic away, and I was utterly consumed by the quiet grandeur of it all. And then I hit this.
So, flooded path here. We've had to go across the road, which was a little bit hairy, and just made sure there was a big gap. Yeah, there's the original path under the bridge. is the alternate route.
As I made my way along the trail, I came across the River Eden, a winding ribbon of life that adds its own magic to this journey. The Eden flows gently through the landscape, its waters carrying stories as old as the wall itself. Stretching over 90 miles, it's one of the few rivers in England that flows northward, carving its path through Cumbria before joining the Solway Firth. It's said the name Eden comes from an old Celtic word, meaning place of abundance, and standing here I can see why. Its banks are home to a rich variety of wildlife, including otters and kingfishers, making it as vibrant with life as it is peaceful. Surrounded by lush greenery and the serene flow of the water, it feels like nature's perfect sanctuary, a moment of peace amidst the history and effort of the trail. Oh, and of course, a wonderful photo opportunity or two.
So, turn over that way. So the river flooded and it's left puddles. But what's happened is there's actually fish in these puddles. There, can you see them? A tiny little fish swimming around in the puddle. Not gonna make it, I'm afraid, little fishy. Poor thing. Just as we're heading into Carlisle now. Not far at all, and we'll be in the town centre and really doing good. Better than what them fish are going to do anyway. Poor things. Let's head to our first part. Let's head to our first accommodation. B&B for tonight. Yes. I like wild camping. I like camping, but I didn't sleep so great last night. I was on a slight hill. The noise from the campsite. Couldn't really get comfortable. And I'm just wondering whether I'm being a bit of an old stickler. Maybe just to book B&Bs for these walks in the future. It doesn't feel such a challenge, B&B, right? And I spoke about it in my... another puddle. Oh my God, these poor fish. I spoke about it in my other video. I know the puddles are all full of fish down here. And yeah, I considered it cheating, staying in places coming off the path. That was why I wild camped. Looking forward to a comfy bed tonight, a bit of TV, being able to charge all my devices, my feet up. It really actually appeals. At the same time, there is nothing like waking up in the middle of nowhere on your own in a tent at the crack of dawn, particularly if the weather's nice, but the weather's not going to be nice this week. 50-50. Don't want to be breaking down a tent in the pissing rain, or even packing up a tent, putting one together in the rain. We'll see what my accommodation options are like. As we get further in, we might be able to book something, even though we paid for some campsites. We'll see. Maybe I'll just tough it out. It'll be a great adventure. Very invigorating, that's for sure. Anyway, stage one almost done. If only the weather was like this every day. It'd just be wonderful, an absolute dream.
Ending the day through Bitts Park, I had covered almost 29 kilometres, or around 18 miles. For the statisticians out there, I hit 36,827 steps, had a max heart rate of 124 beats per minute, and walked for around 9 hours and 48 minutes at a very leisurely pace, with plenty of stops. The total ascent for the trip was 188 metres with at least 5 wheeze along the way. My app did not record these. My final visit before I hit the sack was a pizza that felt like heaven from one of the big chains before I booked into my room and slept like a Roman after a long day's march. Absolutely wonderful.